Welcome back. A nearly 40-year oversight in Venice is finally being resolved, but it will cost the city millions of dollars.
The issue started in 1978, but was only discovered last month, and it may affect hundreds of homeowners. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live from Venice with more on this error. Christopher.
Good evening, Scott and Haley. At least 750 homes in the city are not zoned properly. They're zoned for the county, not the city. But it's the city that's paying the price.
It just seems like every time you turn around, there's another can of worms that we open up that has to be corrected.
This can of worms comes in the form of property zoning. In 1978, when properties were annexed into the city of Venice from Sarasota County, apparently nobody changed the land zoning. In this case, single-family residences, or RSF.
It happens to have exactly the same designation as the city of Venice's single-family residence.
So for all these years, somewhere near 750 homes have been designated as Sarasota County single-family homes, not Venice.
Perhaps County RSF1 might have a setback of 25 feet, and the city might require for that same house a setback of 30 feet.
Venice Mayor John Hollick is confident all of the homeowners in the city have followed the proper guidelines. Just no one noticed that the homes were zoned improperly. That oversight does mean a loss of revenue.
They estimated it at about $2,500 a home, 750 homes. That'd be just under $2 million of lost revenue.
Business owner Bill Ahorn was in Tuesday's city council meeting and heard about this for the first time.
I thought it was a little peculiar, and certainly piqued my interest in wanting to hear what it was all about.
Ahorn believes his home is zoned properly, but he's not so sure about his business.
I would forego making any major renovations or anything until the new land development regulations were approved.
Ahorn has reached out to the city but hasn't heard back yet. To fix the problem, the council voted to streamline the rezoning process so city staff can correct the mistake.
It allows us to go ahead and just do the paperwork, which is much, much less expensive to do than if you went through a complete rezoning process.
It was Development Services Director Jeff Schrum that found the mistake. We did reach out to speak to him today, but haven't heard back. In Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. A Sarasota-based circus operator who faced charges from a deadly tent collapse has agreed to pay $25,000 in fines. A prosecutor in the case says the plea agreement resolves 8 charges, including operating without a license, and ensures New Hampshire, where this happened, will receive money from a defendant who has limited funds. Walker International Events, now out of business, initially faced more than $200,000 in fines. The tent collapse happened at a fairground in 2015, killing a father and his 6-year-old daughter. The plea agreement still needs court approval, and a hearing is scheduled for next month. And while Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus may be shuttering, Big Apple Circus has managed to cartwheel itself out of bankruptcy. A judge approving a deal that would save the circus by selling its tents, equipment, and intellectual property to Big Top Works, which is a Florida-based affiliate investment firm. The nonprofit circus filed for Chapter 11 in November, seeking to continue operating in a diminished way. The circus's debts totaled $8.3 million against assets of only $3.8 million. Big Apple Circus is celebrating its 40th year.
Some changes could be on the way for Florida's high-stakes standardized test. 2 top Republican legislators say they are proposing common sense changes, that's what they call them. Their legislation would not eliminate or cancel any state-mandated tests, but it would push back the date when the standardized tests are given. Instead of being administered in late February and March, the testing date would be moved up to the last 3 weeks of the school year. Bill's supporters say this leaves extra classroom time to prepare for these exams rather than having students take them before getting a full year's worth of teaching.
Teachers are frustrated. They feel that they're having to cram for a test or having to teach to a test. And that is not and was never the intention of legislators and those who came before us who implemented these reforms.
Legislators also want the Department of Education to look at whether the SAT or ACT college entrance exams could be used to test high school students instead of the Florida Standards Assessment.
It appears a lot of those high school students want to be part of Gator Nation. The University of Florida says it has received a record number of applications in the last few months. UF officials say nearly 35,000 prospective students asked to be admitted in the summer or fall of this year. That's a nearly 8% increase over last year. The university says it has accepted more than 13,000 students. And get this, the average GPA of those admitted, 4.4, and then the average score in the SAT, 1349. I'm just glad I was accepted a long time ago because my numbers don't match that.
I mean, it's always been selective, but it just keeps getting even more selective. So they're going to have some great graduates. Yeah.
All right, let's get a check on our weather. Some changes happening right now on the Suncoast. Here's Bob.
Yeah, changes are that this system now is weakening as it makes its way through. Good news on that front. We've had some brief, moderate to heavy rain just for a brief period of time across our viewing area. Right now, the heaviest storm is by far inland, pushing away from the coast right now toward the east coast of Florida. You can see that thin line of showers really is pretty much vanished across Sarasota. There's still a few showers around, though. Expect a brief sprinkle here or there, moderate showers near Wauchula, north thereof, and the heavier weather, as I mentioned, inland into Highlands County. There are some severe weather warnings across portions of the East Coast now. That's where the severe weather is. For us, the big problem now, strong winds out of the northwest keep the marine problems still intact as far as rip current advisory as well as small craft advisory as well. More on the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. President Trump is lashing out at a bombshell report that members of his campaign had repeated contact with Russian intelligence officials before he was elected. It all comes after the resignation of Trump's national security advisor. Michael Flynn left amid controversy surrounding his conversations with the Russian ambassador. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump on the defense at the White House. The New York Times reports that people inside and outside his campaign had repeated contacts with Russian intelligence officials in the year before the election.
People are trying to cover up for a terrible loss that the Democrats had under Hillary Clinton.
The Times report did not say the Trump associates knew they were talking to Russian intelligence officers, and the paper reported U.S. officials haven't seen any evidence that the Trump team cooperated with Russia in the hack of the Democrats or had anything to do with it. The White House has denied any contact with Russian officials during the campaign. On X, National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who discussed sanctions with the Russian ambassador in December, the White House said Flynn resigned because of an erosion of trust. But one day later, the president defended Flynn.
I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked.
Lawmakers on both sides calling for a bipartisan congressional investigation.
An independent outside commission, nonpartisan commission outside with subpoena power to find the truth.
If there's contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence officials outside the norm, that's not only big league bad, that's a game changer.
As outrage grows on Capitol Hill, congressional Republicans and Democrats have introduced a bill that would make it tougher for President Trump to pull back sanctions against Russia. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump is promising the United States will work diligently to broker a peace deal between Israel and the Palestinians. The president welcoming Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House for a joint press conference today. This is the first time the leaders have met face-to-face since Mr. Trump took office. During the conference, the president reiterated his opposition to Iran's nuclear program and said he will prevent them from developing a nuclear weapon. But he softened his stance on Israeli settlements in the West Bank. While campaigning for president, Mr. Trump said Israel should keep going with the settlements. Now he's asking Netanyahu to put on the brakes.
Bibi and I have known each other a long time. A smart man, great negotiator, and I think we're going to make a deal. It might be a bigger and better deal than people in this room even understand.
President and his advisors have indicated they want a friendlier relationship with Israel than the sometimes rocky relations the Obama administration had.
An update now on a reservoir in California that is continuing to drain as workers rush repairs before a storm approaches. The reservoir is being drained after it reached capacity Sunday and overflowed, forcing an evacuation order for nearly 200,000 people. Now officials say the lake is draining at about 100,000 cubic feet per second, reducing the reservoir about a foot every 3 hours. The Department of Water Resources says it wants to drop the reservoir's level by 50 feet overall by Sunday, as next week's forecast does call for 2 to 4 inches of rain and snow. If you would like to sign up for a TSA pre-check at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, you will have to wait. The president at SRQ Airport says the current enrollment period for new screenings is now completely full. Around 800 travelers have signed up for the 5-year program. Now, when they fly, they can save some time by not waiting in the long security lines. If you would like to enroll in the program, another round of signups will be available in March. The program costs $85 per applicant, or about $17 a year. $85 gets you the 5 years of TSA PreCheck. You still can sign up at Port Manatee and Tampa International, but to make it more convenient, and if you want to stay here, you're going to have to wait. Yeah.
A little too popular.
Yeah, apparently.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, another restaurant option will soon be popping up at the University Town Center.
And what will be replacing the lunch spot, Fast and Fresh? That's coming up.
Hi, I'm Linda Carson. Coming up, we'll take you to a preview of Born Yesterday. They say it's a laugh a minute.
Hurry in to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings on some of America's best vehicles. Over 100 standard and available safety features make the new Chrysler Pacifica a safe investment for any family. And right now, you can buy one for just $24,999 or save up to $11,000 on a new Ram Crew Cab during Ram Truck Month. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Florida's last private island is a waterfront lifestyle like no other. This is Harbor Isle, just 5 minutes from the sugar sand beaches of Anna Maria Island. This sun-splashed paradise invites you to enjoy natural adventures and all the recreation of a tropical resort. Island coach homes and waterfront condos are now available from the high 400s. Don't miss the Luxury by the Bay event, Saturday, January 21st from noon till 4 p.m. at Harbor Isle. Water ski show, luxury cars, wine tasting, model home tours, and more.
Gold fever is at an all-time high in the Sunshine State with the new Gold Rush Doubler family of scratch-off games. Everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. With over $1 billion in total cash prizes, the Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Contemporary Cabinetry and Closet Concepts. Our strength is in building a relationship with our clients. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. When you organize your home, you simplify your life. Call today for a free in-home consultation or visit the web at contemporarycabinetrySRQ.com.
As the only certified surgeon of excellence in metabolic and bariatric surgery in the area, Dr. Joseph Chepley has performed more than 1,300 successful bariatric surgeries. Join us on ABC 7 News from 5 to 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 23rd. Dr. Joseph Chepley and his talented staff will be taking your phone calls as we discuss what makes someone a good candidate for surgery and the different options available to patients in our area. Thursday, February 23rd.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500 starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Top-notch entertainment flooding the Suncoast.
Every week, local performing arts centers and theaters are rolling out new shows. ABC 7's Linda Carson joins us with a look at some of the best offerings. Linda.
In the spotlight tonight, the Oslo Rep presents Born Yesterday. The hilarious play first opened on Broadway in 1946 and became a movie in 1950. This is the final year of the Oslo's 5-year focus on the American character, and these American characters could have been ripped right out of today's headlines.
You don't like to be doing all his dirty work because you know you're better than him.
That's enough! Broadway star Christina DiCicco plays Billy Dawn in Born Yesterday. She's played some very big parts on The Great White Way.
I was in the original cast of Sister Act the musical, and I played Eva Perón twice a week opposite Ricky Martin in the 2012 revival of Evita on Broadway, and I also was a principal role in Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark on Broadway.
She loves the role of Billy Dawn.
Billy Dawn starts out the show as an ex-showgirl. Her biggest credit was playing in the chorus of Anything Goes on Broadway, which I have a little experience with. And she starts off as just somebody who likes to be an accessory. She likes wearing lovely things and looking lovely and kind of walking around and being a satellite to Harry Brock.
Norm Boucher plays Harry Brock.
Harry Brock is a junk man turned millionaire. So he comes to Washington to try and buy some international influence.
He brings along his girlfriend, Billy Dawn, and he hires a young reporter to teach her how to behave properly in society.
I play the reporter, Paul Verrill, who is working on a progressive, you could say, journal, and he's interested in finding out the truth that goes on in Washington. One of his lines is, he just wants the facts.
But he discovers the most important facts are about himself.
He actually ends up being educated about himself, about what life is really about for him, and that's his heart.
They say even though Born Yesterday was written 70 years ago, it's still very relevant in our lives today.
I think it actually is a very hopeful message. It's a very positive message as far as what an impact people can make on their government, and in the meantime, besides that message, it's also a lot of fun.
Born Yesterday is at the Oslo Rep through April 15th. If you want to see it, you better get your tickets soon. Despite all the many shows that are running here on the Suncoast right now, many performances of Born Yesterday are already sold out.
Must be a good one. Thank you, Linda. Now let's head over to Bob.
Haley, the story is not much to this front in terms of rainfall. Wind certainly has been a problem and a factor today. We've had all kinds of coastal advisories, but for the most part, the heavy rainfall threat is over for us, or any kind of rough weather. We did have some storms to the north of us and some warnings earlier this afternoon. To the north, there were some Doppler-indicated tornadoes. We haven't any reports of damage of that to North Florida, but right now, some bigger storms well inland, pushing toward the east, toward Lake Okeechobee. Right now, you can see a few storms lined up there, and down near Fort Myers, some activity. And some of the storms have been severe along the east coast. A few showers and a few storms near Sanibel, also near Fort Myers and I-75. There are the coastal advisories now. Small craft advisory will stay with us through tonight and then be lifted tomorrow. As far as the webcam goes and our current conditions, we are looking at a few showers moving in occasionally. They were scattered about for the most part. Still some mid-level clouds around. We'll look for mostly cloudy skies through the evening. Breezy conditions staying with us. Turning cooler. Now we'll get some cooler weather around. Nothing extreme as far as that goes. It'll be just a little bit below average. Average high right around 73 degrees. And then more showers on Saturday. That's not a cold front. That's an area of low pressure which will develop in the Gulf and track across the state on Saturday, bringing with it pretty good chance for showers at this point. Nothing severe with that. And as far as that cold front goes, you can see it's cleared the Mid-Atlantic coast states now, and basically the front still to our north, despite the fact that we've had the clouds and showers here over parts of the sun coast. That cooler and drier is still a little bit further off to the north, and we'll see that filter in on that northwest wind tonight. Right now we have some clouds, 74 degrees. The dew point still high, 67. Winds out of the west-northwest at 20, and gusts as high as 30 this afternoon. The pressure 29.84 inches, and that will start to rise again. The high today was 78 degrees, a pretty warm day. 73 is our average, and 88 the record set back in 1975. This morning's low was worn at 67, and will be pretty mild tonight, warm tonight. We'll start off tomorrow morning into the upper 50s to low 60s, and no measurable precipitation recorded at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. The showers that were around across parts of Manatee and Sarasota counties were only around for a brief period of time. Temperatures currently into the low 70s. Even the Gulf water temperature now 72 degrees and 74 in Arcadia. Now it's 75 in Wauchula and 73 in Northport. Dew point temperatures is where we define the front, and you can see it's still into the mid 60s from Orlando southward. To the north of that into the 50s and 40s, and that's where the cooler and drier air, and that will be slipping in throughout the day. We're expecting highs tomorrow only into the basically upper 60s to near 70 degrees. The winds will stay brisk tonight out of the northwest and north, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles an hour. Tomorrow, we'll see that again at 15 miles an hour, basically out of the north and northwest throughout the day. So a little bit breezy tomorrow, but not nearly as windy as it was today. And as far as the forecast goes, by 6 o'clock in the morning, we could still see some clouds around, but won't be around long. That cloudiness will push to the south and then eventually high pressure building back in, keeping skies sunny. But as I mentioned, cool on Thursday and even Friday. High temperatures will be slightly below the average, still around 71, 72 degrees. For boaters, tomorrow still breezy out there. Sea still kicking up 3 to 5 feet with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. And the forecast tides upcoming for Sarasota Bay. Low tide at 10:20, sunset 6:22, and sunrise at 7:06. Showers are still possible, mainly inland areas. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Breezy tonight, lows in the low 60s. Tomorrow, sunny skies by midday, cooler 69, a bit breezy. And then the extended forecast does call for a nice day on Friday. And high temperatures will warm into the low 70s. And then 50% chance for showers on Saturday and Saturday night, coming later on in the day on that forecast for the weekend on Saturday. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Still no accidents to report at this hour, but drivers are experiencing some delays north and southbound along I-75. That is also along US 41 near Bee Ridge Road.
Yahoo is warning users of potentially malicious activity on its accounts between 2015 and 2016. In a statement, Yahoo says its investigation has, quote, identified user accounts for which we believe forged cookies were taken or used. Yahoo is in the process of notifying all potentially affected account holders. This is the latest development in the internet company's investigation of a mega breach that exposed 1 billion users' data several years ago. Yahoo has not said how many people are potentially affected by this one.
Toyota is revamping its plug-in hybrid with a longer cruise range and quicker charging. The Japanese automaker released the Prius PHV plug-in for sale this week, hoping it will sell better than the first model. A hybrid switches between a gas engine and an electric motor. A plug-in hybrid boasts farther travel than an electric vehicle, which is zero emission but needs recharging when its battery is spent. More new restaurant options near University Town Center. The lunch spot Fast and Fresh at the Shops at University Town Center closed in October and is now making room for a new concept, Plated Modern Kitchen. Customers will be able to choose from full plates, family meals, or sandwiches and salads. The space is currently being renovated. Plated Modern Kitchen is scheduled to open later this month. So from one healthy option to another. So I hope it's as good as Fast and Fresh because I love that.
Did you? Mm-hmm. And the option is the key word there. There's so many out there now in that area.
True.
Yeah. Eat whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment news is next.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
In town, on the town, The Mark offers landmark living in the center of everything you love about Sarasota. Priced from the 700s, spacious residences and elevated club-level amenities create a private oasis in the sky. Promenade shopping and dining put the best of downtown downstairs. Sales gallery open daily at the corner of Pineapple and State Street just south of Main. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by Coulter.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new, unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Car experts and customers agree. There's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru True Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Another flying mishap for Harrison Ford.
The actor is now being investigated by the FAA for landing his plane dangerously close to an American Airlines jet that was packed with passengers. Ford, an experienced pilot, was told to land on a runway at John Wayne Airport in Southern California on Monday, but he mistakenly landed on a parallel taxiway passing right over a jet that was holding nearby. Now remember, it was last year he crash landed a plane on a golf course. A spokesperson for the FAA could not confirm Ford was the pilot of that plane, but he says the pilot received and read back the proper landing instructions.
If you've had the chance to see the newest Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, once again, you'll be seeing Kate Upton gracing the cover. Upton has become only the 4th woman to grace the cover 3 times. Other women who have been featured on the cover 3 times include Tyra Banks, Heidi Klum, and Christy Brinkley. The record number of 5 cover appearances goes to Elle Macpherson. As celebrities contemplate what to wear for the Academy Awards, each Oscar statue is getting its own red carpet treatment so it can shine on Hollywood's biggest night. The 60 Oscars are cast in bronze, sanded, buffed, and fussed over until they get their final 24-karat gold covering. Each is first plated in copper and nickel before that final golden coat. The 89th Academy Awards take place in Los Angeles on Sunday, February 26th, and you can watch them right here on ABC 7 starting at 7 p.m. Looking good.
It does. We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.